good.
Okay, so we're going to start with Negan's changes, his strengths. So thanks to the new patch, thanks to this season, Negan got a new extension. Of a down forward 3-2-1, down forward 3-2-1, you can go into stance, and from there he's got much better, because from there he is, if you look again, I'm gonna do it again, 1 2 3, he is plus 21, and because he's plus 21, any of Negan's moves, thanks to the changes to Negan's intimidation stance, quick off startup frames, every single move in stance can be used and will be a guaranteed hit. So let me show you again. 1 2 3, 21, 20. The slowest move in this guy's toolkit in intimidation stance now, because of this season changes, is 20 frames. So that is one thing that is good from one of these changes. 1 2 is now a more viable option getting into stars, because previously on block it used to be -8, it is now -5. So you can now reliably get into starts. Another change that happened too that is good is his armored launcher now tracks. So now, before people were sidestepping you after you threw armored launcher out, you can catch them. If they sidewalk you, they can still catch you. Let me just make sure and prove that. Okay, if they sidewalk you, they'll still catch you. But if they sidestep, they will get hit to both sides. So this move is no longer weak to sidestep, unless you're fighting against someone like Lily. And even though I've said this already, intimidation stance 3 and 4 both got frame increases and frame startups. So intimidation 3 is a quicker move. It was 18, 19 before, now it's 17. 4, which was entirely useless before, is 20 frames. It's -7, but it is 20 frames and it has some pushback. So you could use this in conjunction with this if someone has to sidestep you, and then there you go. Combo he can now do because of this.
My goodness.
That is a combo you could not do before. And of course, this is needless to say, one of Negan's strengths beforehand is that he has solid block punishment no matter what. He has an option for every single move. Every single move that he can block, he has an option for every frame. And for whiff punishment, he's got forward 2, which is really good. He can use back 1+ if he wants. He can use forward 3-2, which will go into 25 plus hit. Yeah, which will go into, as you saw. You can also do forward 3-2. Or if you're feeling lucky, you throw a knife out. So you get weapon. It's very sensible though, but yes. Secret weapon is also a great whiff punishment. So he's always had good whiff punishment, and he's always had good block punishment. He got added in season 3, I believe, season 3. So inherently his block punishment has been good the entire time, and of course he has this if you don't want to do secret weapon, which is, as you can see, a hefty 18 frames if they block it, but no one really does that. Now, some general thoughts of Negan though, some weaknesses that he has is that his offense isn't scary. Like, I'll explain why. One reason is that he has a very lackluster pokes. He has very lackluster strings, sorry. They all have gaps in between them. Every single string has a gap, and depending on how ridiculous they are, can be very exposing. This one here is his block punishment one. But obviously, if you throw this out as a string, you're getting hit because that can be ducked, and it's -9, so you can't continue pressing. 2-1-4 is a decent string, but as you can tell, there's a huge gap on the low, and it's very obvious. And in high levels of play, people are gonna either block you, or even to me, they might block the low after seeing it once or twice, or low parry you if they're higher level, and then you've just eaten all of that for trying to do a string. A good string he does have, I would say, is down back 3-1. That is only -2, but it can be ducked. But it's only thingy. It's only -2, which is good. But if you choose to do any of the extensions, -14, -11, you're punishable from both. And that's another thing, he hasn't got mix-ups as well. Pokes are very limited. Down 3, back 4, down back 4 are his only low pokes outside of down back 2 and intimidation starts. Everything else is a generic low, meaning it's super punishable. Super launch. So his low game mix-up game, high low mix-up game doesn't exist, and with strings it doesn't exist either. And none of these strings, as you've seen, are true strings. 4-2 puts you in that. 1-4 is decent. It gets pushback and you can do some mind games. You can go into 1-4 and then do shove, but again, that isn't guaranteed. So to work. So there's a lot of things that he doesn't do well as a character and weaknesses. Yep, his best pokes are on the risky side of frames, as you've seen. All of his pokes have some form of risk. Back 2-3 is -6, so really you shouldn't be pressing after this. Back 2-2, if you do that, is -11, it's punishable, so you shouldn't be pressing that too much. Down back 4 on its own is -7, but down back 4-2 is +5. But if you notice the frames, there's a huge difference. So you can duck the first second hit, and if you chose to do the upper extension instead, down back 4-3, it's -9, so you've lost your turn. So a lot of these pokes put him at a disadvantage. He's really high on the frames, like really high. There's only a couple moves that allow him to still be on positive frames, and they take longer and they're more risky. Another thing is that his approach is dangerous. Him approaching a character is dangerous for him because his moves take ages to come out. Forward 4 takes 24 frames. Characters with good keep out or general keep out or a jab will hit you out of this because you're extending your hurt box. Forward 2, if you mistime that, you're getting launched. It's -9 on block on top of that, so you've lost your turn if you use this move, but you've got it, which is okay. Forward on 1+2 is -6. It says the best travel out of all of them. I've always approach tools, but as you can see, it's -6. And then forward 3 is not bad, it's -4, but again, a lot of the approach tools take ages to come out. Oh, his keep out game is very limited. Down forward 4 brings him forward. The only keep out move I say he actually has is 4, but his 4 isn't really counter hit 4. He has a counter hit 4-2 string. So let's make her do, because you do nothing. Boom, boom. He gets that, which is good, and puts on while standing. But another problem that this character has is that because his offense isn't really scary and his lack of strings, he has a lot of moves that take ages to come out and are not all that good in these certain situations if blocked. In certain situations, if they're blocked, he loses out, and on top of this, his tracking isn't good. Besides down back 4, down back 2, and yeah, down back 2, down back 4, and down 3, every other move, and oh yeah, and armor launcher, every other move can be sidestepped. Every other move is so linear, if you sidestep sometimes to both sides. And depending on the character as well, if it's someone like Lily or Safina, they're sidestepping you constantly. So that's gonna happen. In addition to this, he has no counter hit game. All his counter hits take ages to come out. Every single one takes ages to come out. His only good one, I'd say, is the shove. It's 14 frames and you get this guaranteed. Every other counter hit is hit or miss and is rare to hit. Even that, 20 frames. 20 frames. And then the new move they gave him this season, season 4, down back 1, down forward 1, which is basically an extension from down forward 1-2, just like that move, is -11. So they gave him a new counter hit move, which is only a frame shorter than up 4, but it's punishable. So it's effectively useless. There's not a situation which this character can frame trap someone into throwing this move out. Most of your counter hits you get with Negan are going to be reads or reactions based on. It's not going to be, I'm going to do this to get you in this. You can't set up like that for this character. So that's one thing as well. Counter hit game is very non-existent. And yeah, also when it comes to fighting people, which ties in the counter hit, he has no panic moves to get out of situations. Sure, he has the shove, that's 14 frames. He hasn't got anything else that can really help him get out of situation. He's got no evasive moves. This does not count. This is 28 frames and it's minus 12 on block. This does not count. Sure, he goes back, but at 25 frames, you're not escaping anything with that. But Armored Launcher would do the trick, but it's minus 15, so there's a big risk in using that, and there's characters who don't have to risk as much in this game, who have good panic attacks to get out of certain situations, or counter hits to get out of certain situations, and because it doesn't exist with this character, it makes his day a lot more harder when he's fighting anyone that's rushdown, like for example Horang or Leroy. Anyone that's a rushdown character, he will struggle inherently more against. And of course, like I said already, he has tracking on those limited moves, but he hasn't really got tracking on other moves. A lot of his other moves that are key moves, and his Rage Drive especially, have no tracking, and that can really do him in if he's trying to make a read and then, well, you already know how tracking can go if it messes up. And yeah, that's all of the weaknesses he currently has. Now, as for improvements I want to happen with this character, at the very least, or one of these things, I want him to have better frame data in general. He only has 4+ frame moves, and that's only Intimidation Stance 2, which is plus 7, down back 4-2, which is plus 5, but it can be, second move can be dud because of the big frame gap. Back 1+2, which is 22 frames, but to do it on its own a couple times, or to do it 1-2-2, sorry, he wouldn't block that. 1-2-2, which is basically the same amount of frames, 5 frames, that's it. And then forward 4, which is 24 frames, that's gonna take ages to come out. So if they make his frame data on block better, it'd be a lot easier for him to gauge these counter hits despite how bad they are. His counter hits would be easier to hit. He'd be able to set up more or sidestep, or, you know, bait something coming out rather than just using down forward 1 and sidestepping and using nothing else. Because that's literally what he does. Jab, sidestep, down forward 1, sidestep. There's not a lot of situations where he can throw a move out and be a certain amount of frames and then sidestep because he's good. So yeah, better moves on frame advantage, because my god, like I said already, most of them are -5 and above on block. On block, most of these moves are either punishable or -5 or above, so he basically loses his turn anyway. Or not all. Also, I'd like if they could make some of these moves quicker, because a lot of these moves, especially his counter hits, do not do him justice. This is not quick enough. All his bat moves, I wish if they make all his bat moves quicker. If they make it quicker and they're still punishable, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind. -11, okay. -6, okay. But I'd prefer it if they made his bat moves more usable. This is a counter hit move, but you wouldn't think it is. This is only counter hit. This is a counter hit move that only comes out, yeah, when they press. You can't bait someone into this. They have to be, you have to hit them beforehand. And it becomes the true string, which is not bad, but it's rare to hit this move. So yeah, I'd also want him, yeah, with his counter hits to get bigger start frames, his key moves to get better start frames, to make him more intimidating at least. If you're gonna make this -13, which he can launch, and every character can launch, at least make it fast enough so that he can throw it out and it's more viable. It's got the range, it just needs, it needs to be faster. I also wish they give him a new low, because some of these lows that he has does not do him justice. This is +-1 on hit for me. That amount of 3 does good. Yeah, you start waffling. Another thing I personally want is up 4 to be a quicker move. Maybe 15 frame counter hit. 14 is a bit much. 15 frames is good. And if it made it a low crush, because he jumps in the air, but he's still getting hit. So I'd like it if they were to make it a move where it's low crushing people who hit low, so that way even if it does have its frame, you know, its long starter frames, it at the very least will low crush anybody. So if you were to get a nice read, you do up 4, you're good. And yeah, that's all the improvements I wish that they can do. Not anything too specific. It's just if they make this character and gonna give him better options in certain situations, he'll be much better, in my opinion. If they make him a faster character, make his counter hit game usable, give him quicker frames on maybe his key moves and his approaching tools to make that section easier and neutral, and including the bat moves that, you know, can't be parried but they're not usable at all, I think he'd be a great character, or he'd move higher. But who knows what's gonna happen when the patch comes out, so yeah, can't wait to look at it and tell you guys next time. See you later.